Hello everybody, welcome back to Tully Talks, and today we're going to be talking WandaVision episode 3, and as you can see, I have my returning guest star here, Christina.
So come get cozy with us, guys. Come get your coffee or your... Whoa! Oh boy, already.
That's how excited we are to bring you the review of WandaVision episode 3.
Come get your coffee or your tea, sit down, relax, we're comfortable.
Yeah.
We wanted to give you guys that 70s feel of WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
Or at least, oh, look at this. Wow.
Dropping everything,
well,
guys.
On WandaVision, they kind of drop a few things too.
yeah, there's a few things that are getting dropped in there. But before we go on, I'd like to take this time to ask if I've earned your subscription. So please hit that red subscribe bar down below. Hit all on those notifications. Like, share, comment. It's the only way that's going to really grow our channel, our community. It's not just my channel, it's not just her channel, it's your channel too. I want us to guide this channel to the heights that I know we can. So let's start sharing, let's start commenting, let's start bringing more eyes onto Tully Talks. So you can turn around and be like you were one of the founding fathers or founding mothers of Tully Talks as far as a fan is concerned. You can say you were one of the first. But before we end, on the other side note, please go check out Eternally Grateful Seas, a channel that Christina here puts out, deals with life hacks, clearance hauls, all that type of fun stuff. So if you're into that, arts and crafts, go check out her channel, give her a like, give her a subscribe. You'll really be into that channel.
Well, we might have men that are into comic books on this channel.
That doesn't mean that you can't learn how to save your dollar for subscriptions like Disney Plus or for comics. It's always good to save that extra dollar to go towards entertainment. But enough for the babble. Let's get into episode 3.
And we're going to do we're going to do our opinions. Like, we're going to do my thoughts on 1, 2, and then 3.
Yes, because as you recall, I did a little mess up on the first 2 episodes, but I didn't have Christina here to give her thoughts. She watches the show with me. So, before I get into my thoughts of episode 3, do you want to give your thoughts on the first 3 episodes
First of all, yes, on the first one, I just got to say that it was so hilarious when they had Vision's boss come over with his wife, and Vision and Wanda are trying to do the whole dinner thing and make it so, etiquette and so nice and stuff like that. And it was so funny how nosy are these people? Where are you from? And what do you do? Where do you live? Where'd you live before? Or whatever questions they were asking. And I would have been like, really? Is this like 1,000 questions at dinner? It was just...
It was an overwhelming dinner party.
The most nosiest people, and then having to keep the boss's wife contained in the living room area and not to try to go, which I get it, try to go help in the kitchen and everything, help Wanda. And then Wanda's got, appliances in the air and cooking utensils and flying around. Yeah. And, and they're trying to, in the living room, Vision's trying to distract that lady from, like I said, going into the kitchen, and it was just so annoying but funny at the same time. I just know that if we had anybody like that in our house, we would probably never have them come back again.
No, because
it was just too much, but it was just so hilarious.
It was overwhelming.
And and then you have the other neighbor that comes in the first episode, right? And she's just like, hello, and like, wow. I mean, it's just such a different time from the way we live now. I mean, because I like some of my neighbors here. I just don't know if I just allow them though to just kind of walk in anytime they want. So yeah, but. It's really good how they did that whole scene. It was very funny, very enjoyable, and I really, really liked, the start of episode 1, and then as we continued on to episode 2 and 3 is also really great episodes. I think the show is wonderful. I think it's very creative, very unique. It's a show that unlike anything we've seen before, because there's so many shows out there on Netflix, Hulu, all these subscriptions that you could be spending so much on subscriptions these days that you might as well just get cable back then at that point, But anyway, to get back to the point with the shows, there's unlike any other show out there, so it's not like biting off another show, so to speak, or trying to.
It's giving a unique twist on some of these.
Yes, and I like that it's unique. I like that it's different. I like that it's not like some other shows that are out there right now.
Right.
So yeah.
I agree with that. I agree that it's when you look back at these shows that they're trying to imitate and mock in a way, in a good way. The Dick Van Dyke shows, the Bewitched shows, the Brady Bunches. These shows were essentially meant to be comedic situations. In the Brady Bunch, you have the sister getting hit in the face with the football, and she breaks her nose, and it's like, oh no!
Oh, that reminds me also when they showed the scene of the the Brady Bunch scene, okay, where you see the square, the grid, right? I thought Wanda and Vision were going to have like 10 kids or 6 kids or whatever, and then when they only had the 2, I was almost a little disappointed. So I don't know if that's just something that I thought in my mind, seeing the Brady Bunch, thinking that multiple kids, a large family. Comment down below actually on that part if you, I mean, maybe it's because I haven't kept up with like all the comic book stuff. So comment down below though, because from what I understand, those 2 children that Wanda and Vision have are the sons of.
Yes, they.
So maybe again that's why I didn't realize and just thought, oh, she's gonna have like 10 kids.
Right, in the comic books, her story with her children is a long and convoluted story that I've kind of touched on with my West Coast Avengers videos back early on in the channel. But she does have 2 boys, Wiccan and Speed, I believe their name is, and in the show Billy and Tommy. But yeah, I can understand that if you are a casual fan of hers and you're not too familiar with her past in the books, it might have given you an indication that there would have been a lot more kids, perhaps.
But again, that's why I'd like you guys to comment down below about that. Because I'm wondering if I was the only one who thought that, or did you guys, know that it was going to be twins? I'm just curious about that.
Right, if you're a casual fan, you may have expected something different. If you're a comic book fan, you might have just figured
right, because you have to remember there may be people watching the show that aren't don't know the history at all. So I'd be curious to know about that.
Right, because it's not like Wanda and Vision are not like Captain America and Thor, where they're a little bit more recognizable and have a more general idea of, oh yeah, Captain America, right? He was in the 40s and he got frozen, right? If you go to a casual comic book reader, they might have heard Scarlet Witch and they may know some things, but they may not know what exactly to look for to study her history. And if you're looking for some reading material on that, House of M, The Vision limited series, old West Coast Avengers stories. Read those, and it'll kind of give you more of an idea of who Wanda and Vision are as a couple, as individuals.
And the other part that stands out in my mind was, I think it was it episode 2 where she's standing by the radio?
Yes.
So
yes.
episode 2 where Wanda is standing by the radio in the outside at the
when she's talking
party.
to Dottie, the
right,
lady.
where they had, I guess, like some kind of women's party, whatever you want to call it. I had felt the emotion that when the radio started to, what I'm going to say is, I'm going to use the word distorted. When the radio had got distorted, and you see the look on Wanda's face, and as we all know, the Beach Boys song "Help Me Rhonda" from the '60s, and then it was "Help Me Wanda."
Yeah,
obviously.
you can kind of maybe hear her name.
But I just got a very thriller, suspense type of emotion and feel from that, almost like where I got a scared kind of feeling, like that, because that's creepy. That's weird and creepy, because if I was standing next to a radio and I'm talking to someone, and my name obviously doesn't sound like Rhonda, but I don't know, I can't think of an example off of my
convo.
Right, off of my head of to compare my real name to another name in a song. But the point is that I would be so freaked out. And who is that on the radio saying that?
Right.
That's
who is
that? And then the woman next to her, gets horrified also. So tell me what you guys felt from that, and what you guys thought about that, and what's going on with that? Who's trying to reach her? What feeling did you get from that? Because I got suspense, I got thriller, I got creepy-ish. What did you feel?
I definitely starting to feel more of a psychological horror movie type of feel from it. Because
but it's not supposed to be like that, though, right?
No, in a way it is,
really?
If you look at it. Because if you look at all the things from episode 1 to now, where in episode 1 they weren't sure why there was a heart on the calendar.
Oh, right, yes,
and it was because of the boss coming.
Right.
There's a laugh track playing when they can't remember, but actually losing your memory, not knowing what is going on, is a very serious situation. So they're flipping that on itself.
That's true.
And it's making it scary that what's making it more scary is that no one's even acknowledging the weirdness, and then when the weirdness is acknowledged, it's starting to become more and more tense, because like you said in the episode 2 when she's talking to Dottie, and Dottie's like, oh, I've heard things of you in Vision, and da-da-da, you see Wanda kind of doing that little head tilt she does, and then you hear the radio getting distorted and someone calling out for Wanda, and then it blows up, the lady cuts her hand,
but
and then she walks away, but when she walks away the radio's fixed again.
Was catching on though.
Right, anytime anyone is catching on, these things happen that then, because near the end of episode 2, when the beekeeper comes out of the manhole, and she says no, and reverses time to avoid that, because it's showing cracks in the reality, as you're showing, and there's a lot of hexagon, like honeycomb type of looks to it. It could be that she's making her own beehive. She's the queen bee, and all these different bees are doing different jobs, like in a real bee colony. Because there's bees that only take care of the queen, and there's only bees that go out for honey.
So let's get into though how Vision was starting in episode 3 to start being curious and start asking questions and wondering. And let's get to the part which I kind of find a little funny, that the doctor was going on vacation, and then he says to Vision what he says.
So we're finally now getting into episode 3 territory. And I think the name of this episode was Now in Color, because now this is the third episode is all in color now, where the first 2 were black and white. And you can very well tell that they're still using similar technology to film like they did in the 70s.
Which I love how they did that.
And in the
and
time
I'm trying to do the 70s look for you guys today.
Definitely. We open up with the doctor there, telling Wanda and Vision, yes, they are pregnant. He goes through the growth of the babies in terms of fruits, like an apple, and then a cantaloupe, and then a pineapple, and then you're going to be, I always consider it watermelon size when you're about to burst, the watermelon belly. Vision is kind of concerned because he's confused how they can have children because of him being an android, and how is this growth happening so rapidly in like a 12-hour period. He's not verbalizing those aspects to the doctor. He's just, you can tell Vision is starting to get very confused. You hear the doctor talking about going to Bermuda, which is a very, if you're familiar with missing people and conspiracy theories, there's this Bermuda Triangle where a lot of planes and boats disappear.
Maybe we can do a conspiracy episode on video, which we got to be careful about, because I was watching a girl, and her channel wasn't really like that big or anything. Maybe she had like 5,000 subscribers or something, and she was doing all this conspiracy, just talking, just like us, just talking on a couch or whatever. And she was saying that she started to get, and I think I told you this, like demonetized maybe, or something, because she was starting to talk about the Mandela effect and things like that. So we kind of probably have to be careful. But if you guys would be interested in seeing, because God and I do have a lot of knowledge about some of those subjects.
So interesting stuff.
Right, you'd be interested in seeing about what we say about the Bermuda Triangle, or the Mothman prophecy, aliens, so on and
I don't
so
always
forth.
Just talk comics, even though that's been
we
kind
can get into some science fiction, maybe even Bigfoot. But anyway, let's not get off the topic.
Off track. We see the doctor leaving, and then we see Vision and Wanda going through their day, here and there throughout the day. At first we see, when the doctor leaves, we see Vision coming across her, Agatha's husband, or friend, I should say.
I thought it was a neighbor.
Right, it's
they
a
were
neighbor.
neighbors.
Yes, neighbor. And he's cutting through a wall, basically. And Vision is kind of like, you alright there, Herb? And Herb is like, yeah, just doing whatever, doing his hedges or whatever. And Vision just walks back into the house. And Wanda's getting bigger, and he's talking about how...
Well, actually, she gives birth, and then the doctor walks out and says the Bermuda thing.
Well, he initially referenced the Bermuda vacation in the beginning.
Yeah. And don't forget that we're also going to talk about how the lady helped her, which I forget her name, with the baby, because that is a very imperative part that I'd like Art to talk about.
Yes. So Herb is looking like he's having a glitch going on with his brain, but Vision kind of ignores it. Vision and Wanda go through the day of Vision mentioning about how some mothers want to nest and this and that, and they're worried about their powers being exposed. Then we see Wanda kind of, like I said, getting more bigger. We see her at one point accidentally hit a bowl of fruit, and Vision runs over and catches it before it goes down. At one point, we do have Geraldine, Monica Rambeau coming as Vision was out, because at this point Vision now was going to go back to go get the doctor, because there's a lot of things going on. The house at one point got all bright white and the pipes broke, meaning that like Wanda's water was about to break. I think that was a symbol of that. Vision goes and gets the doctor, and that's when Geraldine comes, and Wanda winds up getting into labor. Monica helps her out with the birth of the first baby. When Vision gets the doctor, he's using his powers without worrying about anyone seeing them, which is interesting, because now, you know, they're starting to do these actions that they've been trying to hide. Excuse me. The wife gets upset that Vision took the doctor. By the time the doctor and Vision get there, the first baby has been born, and everyone's happy. And then that's when we realize there's a second baby coming. And then the next scene is Wanda holding one of the babies, the doctor holding the other baby, everyone thanking Geraldine, Monica Rambeau for helping. And the doctor turns around and he's like, "Oh, you could be a nurse one day." And it's like, well, in reality, she's a sword agent. And she's in there trying to, and in the comics she has powers. I'm not sure if in this book, in this MCU, she's going to have powers. But as the Vision walks outside with the doctor the last time, Vision was like, "Well, I hope you can make it to your trip." And the doctor turns around and he's like, "Well, you know how small towns are. They're always hard to escape."
And why would you say that?
Right.
Why would you say something?
So it makes Vision very like, why would you use the word escape?
Right.
What are you escaping? Escaping references something scary or traumatizing happening to you that you want to leave that situation.